Well, it's the first meeting of the PSC, the Political Security Council of 2010. So it's also the first opportunity after the first anniversary of Operation Atalanta, to brief the permanent representatives and indeed some of the military representatives on what we've achieved over 2009. Indeed, we've given them an operational update, what we've achieved over the last 3 months. We've refined some of our procedures. The new Joint Action Plan was formalised just before Christmas, which actually formally extended us for 2010. So we've got another year of operations now. So we've looked at some capacity building that we can do with regional nations. We've looked on how we can support the TFG, get a better understanding for fisheries, toxic waste. So all of those have been included in the revision to our plan, and I was briefing the team on that this morning. Well, despite the sort of flurry of activity in the Somali Basin over October and November, over the last 6 months there's been quite a marked drop in the number of attacks and the number of vessels seized by comparison with 2008, from June 2009, quite a big drop. So we need to be cautious. We don't want any complacency to creep in. But there is no doubt that with 13 vessels seized in the Somali Basin from the 1st of October through until now, January 2010, we've still got a lot to do. And the key to that in the European Union is our dialogue with the merchant community, with the industry, working with them on best management practice, self-protective measures, routing advice, making sure that when we find suspicious activity, when we identify high-risk areas, we tell the merchant community where to avoid. So we're continuing to build on that strong relationship that we have. Unfortunately, with an ocean that is 10 times the size of Germany, we're never going to be able to close down the skiffs. So that notification, that identification of risk is really at the heart of our success. Well, we have an obligation to ensure the safe delivery of all World Food Programme ships into Somalia. The majority of them run from Mombasa in Kenya, where the main warehouses are, and the majority go into Mogadishu, where the distribution to the south and the north for the World Food Programme is managed from. But occasionally they go into the North Coast. Now we have people who work with that programming office. We identify when the ships are leaving. I ensure that one of our frigates or destroyers is near to Mombasa, and we make sure that pirates, any suspicious activity, any armed robbers, any rogues and vagabonds are kept away from the World Food Programme ships, and that essential aid which sustains so many people in Somalia is delivered in a safe fashion. Last year we escorted around 50 convoys delivering 300,000 tons of food, so we are being successful in that regard. I think my personal perspective focuses on some progress. The EU mandate is quite specific. Sort out humanitarian aid, I think we've done that. Make sure that EU support to the African Union is there in terms of AMISOM and TFG and security in Mogadishu, we've done that. We have a good linkage now with the merchant community, so for vulnerable ships, those slow, low manoeuvre, low freeboard, really susceptible ships, we give close protection to as they go through the Gulf of Aden. And in our deter and disrupt activities, we've had some success. But there's a long way to go. 10 ships today off the coast of Somalia, 257 hostages being held by the pirates with all the uncertainty that creates for them and their families. So we still have progress to make, and that's based on good reassurance, work with industry, the right presence in the right place at the right time, and we'll continue to strive to make that happen in 2010.